It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're listening. Hope you're doing all right today. We're coming at you live from Lake George, and the sun is shining, but we know that it's not the case in other places, and we'll get to that in 1 second. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located on beautiful St. Simon's Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328. That's 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's to get a decent Italian meal. Trust me, it's worth the trip. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by Billy C's Triple G and Canelo post-fight show. That's right. It's the week. It's the week. Well, it's leading up to the fight. The fight. Yeah. Make sure you tune in as soon as the Triple G Canelo fight is over. When the official announcement is made, tune it in right here, wherever you're watching or listening to the Billy C Show, and we will be going live with our post-fight show approximately 6 minutes after the official announcement is made. We will be giving you our thoughts, and we will open up the phone lines to get your thoughts. So make sure you plan on calling in. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by, you guessed it, my book. Tom Molyneux, From Bondage, The Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. You can check that out while you're watching the show right now. Go buy a copy. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. If you're looking to get a signed copy, don't worry about it. I'll be glad to give you one at the next event you see me at. I carry them. Or just go to our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the book. And speaking of the book, a lot of good things going on. We are optioned right now for a movie, so we're excited about that, and we will certainly keep you posted. And one other thing, I'm going to be starting my next book, and I'll keep you guys posted on that soon. But coming up a little bit later on the show, I want to talk about the fights from this weekend. We will start talking more about Triple G Canelo. I got some emails. I got the NFL scores. We got all that stuff. One of my topics today, Adrien Broner, in trouble again. Knocks out a guy on the strip and then shoves a woman, all caught on camera. Talk about a spiral downward. I just hope that the next so-called Floyd Mayweather protege doesn't end up doing the same stuff. And who's that? Well, that's Gervonta Davis, of course, because his last fight he didn't even make weight, discipline issues. But hey, without further ado, joining me right now. Now, you guys are going to notice that you're not going to get a video on him because my man Sal Rocky Senacola right now is battling the hurricane that is handling St. Simon's Island with ease, because right now Sal Rocky Senacola is without power. But does that stop him from coming on this show? Absolutely not. Joining me right now is my man Sal Rocky Senacola. And you guys are seeing his photo, but we can hear you, can't we, Sal?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I am in Area 51 in an undisclosed area on St. Simon's Island, not far from the beach, We got wind, rain, and no power, and the surge is coming up.
Yeah, not only don't you have any power, but you're also breaking up. We may have to switch to the backup line. But, Sal, did you get a chance? I know you've been worrying about the safety of your life, let alone anything else, but did you get a chance to see the latest on Adrien Broner, that he was in Vegas on Friday night and early Saturday morning, apparently got into an altercation, knocks out some guy, pushes a woman and shoves her. She goes down, and next thing you know, he's in trouble with the law again. What's your thoughts?
Billy, you know my thoughts on this. This is so pathetic. I mean, you want to try to carry yourself like a gentleman and have a little class and no rhetoric, no altercation, no bull like this. This is amateur. This is bull. This is garbage. This is the bottom of it. This is worse than any stereotypical type you can portray for any fighter. This is a bully. This is a punk, and this is somebody that doesn't have shouldn't have the right to call himself a champion or to call himself a professional boxer, because no professional boxer should have any altercations with a common person off the street. How pathetic, how much of a loser is he in life?
I tell you, my biggest fear, because the last protege of Floyd Mayweather, because remember, Adrien Broner, when he busted onto the scene and he was, showing the skill set that we want to see in a young fighter, he was Floyd Mayweather's protege. That street went awry, and the next protege we're hearing about is Gervonta Davis. And then as soon as Floyd takes Gervonta under his wing, Gervonta didn't look all that great in his last fight and comes in overweight. I just pray that Adrien Broner is just a clown all by himself, and that Gervonta Davis at least follows the discipline that Floyd Mayweather has followed throughout his whole career. Because whether you like Floyd or not, the one thing you can't deny is that the guy has been disciplined when it comes to his boxing career.
Yes, he has. He has been disciplined, and we definitely want to see Gervonta Davis have a good shot to sustain a great level of success. He is a fighter. He's a champion, and I would like to see him do well in the sport, and the sport do well by him. So let's see if he can stay on the right track and not fall the way of Adrien Broner, loser.
Hey, Sal, I want to show the viewers at home the impact that Hurricane Irma's making. Flip to your video so everyone can understand and appreciate the dedication that Sal Rocky Senecola has to the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. Here is a shot right now, live shot of Sal Rocky Senecola in his undisclosed location, trying to get video with candles in hand. It looks like he's got a seance going. Hey, are you sure those are candles? It looks like thermos.
My Ouija board is in the back.
The video is so rough, but I wanted people to get an idea of the dedication that Sal definitely has. And Sal, we certainly appreciate that big time. So I wanted everyone to get a good view of that. Go back, because it actually looks like the Blair Witch Project. We got the Sal. Switch back to the other line,
yeah,
and we will get things going up again here. But some fights that took place over the weekend. First and foremost, Chocolito gets in the ring, and Suriskat Rungsval beats him again, this time by knocking him out. He knocked him out. He was out cold. There's no question about it. Rungsval improves to 44 wins, 4 losses, and a draw with 40 knockouts. Gonzalez drops his second fight in a row. Was 46 and 1. Now he's 46-2. 38 of his fights coming by knockout. And to be honest with you, this is the end of Chocolito. To me, Sal, this guy looked like he looked like he didn't even want to fight. I mean, talk about talk about fighters losing it. Before our eyes in a ring, he kind of looked like he didn't have it even before the fight. It picked up where it left off because I started seeing, his level of expert or his level is A1 level. I would say expertise, but his level A1 level of boxing kind of diminished in the last fight, and he certainly didn't pick it up. If I'm Chocolatito, I hang him up. I mean, he aged very quickly. What was your thoughts in the 4 rounds that we got to see on Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you, Bill, I kind of called it on Friday. I didn't know it would be an early knockout as it was, but I did think that that Chocolatito was going to have a rough night ahead of him, and it just proved to be. I mean, he looked like he came out the first round. They had a good feel-out process. It was good ebb and flow. It looked like he was trying to put together some punches and combinations. I still gave that round to Sorense. And then I gave all the rounds to him, actually. The second round is where I saw a change because I saw Chocolatito try to really surmount a good offense. And every time he would throw a punch, his opponent, the champion, would have an answer. And it would definitely deter him from following through. So I think by the end of that second round, Gonzalez was saying, hey, what do I got to do? This guy keeps, every time I think I'm doing well, I'm landing in a pocket. This guy comes back with 2, 3, 4 punches I can't get answers to. So the third was the same kind of thing. And but I'll tell you, that fourth round, that was a collision. That was a classic. And we saw Gonzalez try to throw his right hand, and also at the same time, what made the collision occur was Sorense hit him with the left, and being a southpaw that he was. And that was a collision, and that put him down and out. And all I could say is, I wasn't overly surprised by that result. And Max Kellerman said something, and I'm going to bastardize what he said, but he said something to the effect that I thought it sounded pretty well. That every once in a while, or every so often, there seems to be a fight or a fighter, or a fight that illuminates the reality of the sport, and such was that fight. We think sometimes these undefeated guys are infallible, or they're not going to have tonight's not their night. We think they're going to go on and on, but there's always that given night. I always say it. Any given night, you could be beat. And this was a thunderous end to Chocolatito's reign of success.
Yeah, what Max was saying was that there's always a guy that you have trouble with. There's always that one guy, and clearly. But I saw deeper than that. Some other signs that I look at. When a fighter who's so successful, and they have that persona where they act professional. They it's all nothing but professionalism in the ring, during the fight. After the fight and prior to the fight, maybe they show signs of being just a regular person. But during the fight, they're never that person. They're a different person because they have to be successful. Well, what I saw with Chocolatito on Saturday night was a guy that started off. He was right off the bat. He seemed like he was looking for help from the ref. He was complaining about the headbutt that took place very quickly. Then after each round, he was touching gloves like he wanted to be friends with Rungzaval. And those are signs when a fighter wants to touch gloves and be friends. That's, during a fight, and I'm not suggesting you got to hate your opponent, but during the fight, it's business. And, he seemed like he wasn't the same. He didn't have that seek and destroy attitude that he used to have. And I knew right then that your prediction that Chocolatito was going to lose that fight was going to be correct, and mine, thinking that Chocolatito would win, was going to be wrong. So I saw the early signs, Sal.
That's very observant of you, very much so. Because you know what? Yeah, you don't tap gloves during a fight like you're in a sparring session, and that's exactly what he was doing. Now that I can recall, you're right. And a fight is a fight. You fight like you train. You train like you fight. You're not in a sparring session, so you don't tap your gloves.
Right. It just seemed like he was trying to be buddies, but in any event, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. Sal's going to light another candle, and when we come back, I'll give you the rest of the fights from the weekend, including the WBSS opener to kick off the World Boxing Super Series in a fight that pretty much defines, in my mind, that another important part of this show, Dax Khan, he made a statement about the cruiserweight division, and it looked like both Sal and Dax came out winners. I'll tell you one thing. I know who didn't come out a winner. No, not just me. The JETS Jets. What a pathetic team. It's so bad I can't even say it. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and 3-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies that unknown secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-493-9652 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-493-9652 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-493-9652.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
This is important news for women using birth control medications and devices. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with a pseudotumor after using one of these birth control drugs or devices, you may be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Contact the law firm of Davis & Crump right now if you or a loved one have used one of these birth control medications or devices and were diagnosed with a pseudotumor to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And later this week, maybe as soon as tomorrow, we're going to be announcing a new television network that we will be available on, as well as the first one to be airing our Billy C. Boxing Revisited. So stay tuned for that. Programming note, we will not be doing a live show on Friday, But don't forget to tune in to the Billy C. Triple G Canelo Alvarez post-fight show. Approximately 6 minutes after the fight is over, we will be coming at you live, and we'll be opening up the phone lines. I'm here with my man Sal Rocky Senecola, and as you can see, it's only a photo of Sal because Sal is without power on St. Simon's Island. We did show you a video before of him at doing the show by candlelight. And Sal, we appreciate you doing what you do, man, to make this show happen, brother.
Hey, man, that's dedicated. You are relentless and yielding in battle.
Hey, Sal, you're breaking up. Hey, Sal, you're breaking up really bad. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get you on the other line, and we will continue here in a sec. We'll get Sal on the other line. So hang tight for that. But in some other news from the weekend, from other fights, what we have is the co-main event, which making the monster Naoya Inoue made his U.S. debut on television, and man, he didn't disappoint. That's for sure. Inoue took care of Antonio Nieves pretty easily. Made it look easy. In my opinion, to improve to 14-0 with 12 knockouts, toying with Nieves during this fight. Nieves is a good fighter. He drops to 17 wins, 2 losses, and a couple of draws. The fight went 6 rounds until the corner of Nieves finally halted the fight after the end of the 6th. In my opinion, he could have ended it sooner. It looked to me, that Nieves was looking for this fight to end. He just had no confidence after the second round, was in that corner, looking around, looked like a beat guy, looked like he just wanted to stay away from Inoue. Inoue was a guy that has thunder in both punches. Can't see enough of this guy. I hope he comes back to the U.S. Sal, I know we got you back on the line. Did you get a chance to see this one?
I just saw a few little highlights of it, Bill. We had a real choppy night the other night, and I will go back and look at some of those fights as I did see some of the excitement, because there were some great fights, and I'll tell you, these were mostly all at 115, correct?
150. Yeah, they were all super flyweight. That's correct.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, these mighty men, I'll tell you, they put on a heck of a show. And I'll tell you, they did a great job, and it was a good show overall. And, it was just the main event was definitely just too much of a premature ending. But some of these fights were great fights.
Listen, they all seemed like they were great. And I agree with you, and I hope that, you could say what you want about Chocolatito in terms of, him, his skill set seeming to leave him overnight, beginning with the last fight with Rungzaval. But if it weren't for Chocolatito, I don't think the excitement for this division would have been as great as it is. And when you have these guys, and we talked about this last week, Sal, the thing about these lower weight divisions, from the minimum weight all the way up to the super fly, is the fact that they have no place to run and hide. They can't pick and choose and cherry pick and maneuver their way to the top. They have to fight the fighters, each other on their way up. So really, and every fighter, has to fight the real fights. And the best of the best rise to the top, and they're immediately challenged to fight each other. And as was the case in the fight that opened the triple header on HBO, Juan Francisco Estrada, same thing. This was a former, flyweight champion who moved up in weight and beat a guy who gave Chocolatito some trouble, and actually beat Rungzaval, the guy who gave Chocolatito fits in 2 fights. and Estrada ends up beating Kudras in a real exciting fight that went both ways, that ended in a controversial kind of decision when Michael Buffer announced the decision wrong, and you had to see everybody jump up with the scorecards. Go, no, it was 114-113 the other way in favor of Juan Francisco Estrada, which I thought won the fight. He improved to 36 wins and 2 losses with 25 by knockout, and Carlos Kudras loses for the second time in his career, once to Juan Francisco Estrada, and the other a close fight and lost to Chocolatito. He drops to 36-2-1. What was your thoughts on that one, brother?
Yeah, that was a classic, and the ending of that fight, as you suggested, we saw Michael Buffer with the faux pas, but he corrected it immediately as soon as it was brought to his attention. But that fight was a war, and I think the right man did win the fight. And but as you said, this division, to get the exposure that it did on Saturday night, was paying a good tribute to that division, because these guys, they fight. There is no place to hide. They meet each other, and they are explosive. And, that's probably part of the wear and tear that a young fighter like that could go through. I mean, you look at Chocolatito's whole career, if you use it as a comparison. I mean, he's been in wars, and many wars, time after time. And, you age fast in this thing, because you look at all the rounds that he fought. Not just 30 punches around, but these are telling blows, combinations, your ebb and flow of a fight, and this could take an overnight turn on your body and what it could do in the next fight. And that might have been the case after what we saw from Chocolatito. But all these guys, they put on a great display, a great night of fights, and then that fight was action-packed and a beautiful fight to see. Just such a skill set, and that's what we love to see with these boxers.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and it's very unusual to see. Now keep in mind that both Rungzaval and Chocolatito were 30 years old, and it's rare to see fighters in that light of a weight class, be dominating at that age. Their bodies are under so much stress because of the action-packed style of those fighters. I mean, you're not going to be... Listen, generally, I mean, Inoue is changing that with the knockout punch, but generally these guys sustain a beating on each other for 12 rounds in a championship fight or 10 rounds in a non-title bout, and that takes your toll on you, Sal. I mean... you know that. I mean, some fighters will say it's better to get stopped early than to get beat up like Nueves was getting beat up for 12 rounds. And same thing with Chocolatito.
Well, again, yeah, you're right, Bill. And his first fight around was a 12-round war. And I'll tell you, it only takes, I said this time and time again, if you looked at any of the Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier fights, any one of those fights could have ended either one of those guys' career. Just the blows, the pace, and what they exerted and took from each other. And the same thing goes. It's relevant to these lighter weights. I mean, these guys, it only takes one fight in any weight division that could really just change and end a fighter's career, where he will not have that skill set, that level, whether it's psychological, whether it's physiological. It has a lot to do with just the punishment and the pounding and not being able to recover. And when you have one level and you exert and you push it to the limit, your recovery may not come back to that same level. And then you push it again, your recovery is going to dissipate over fights and over time. So you really are diminishing in your skill set and heart, desire, mind, whatever it is. It's just a little facet or a little flaw or a little crack in the dam that starts unwinding rapidly, where overnight a fighter looks like he changed. He's not the same.
Hey, watch your language. Don't be saying damn. Hey, listen, I got a question. I know we got to hurry before you get burnt by all the wax that's around you. But hey, listen, I got a question for you. That we're going to take a break and you're going to answer when we come back, as long as you're still up and running with the battery. But HBO showing 3 super flyweight fights this weekend on their network, which many regard as, the wannabe place. If you're a fighter, you want to make it to HBO. Now, with the competition that they have with Showtime, and Showtime clearly, shifting into a higher gear in terms of volume of fights, the amount of fights that they are broadcasting. Do you think that HBO put this card on because of desperation? Because they're trying to get their viewers and they knew that they were competitive fights, or more of a groundbreaking approach, trying to show that this division is action-packed and that boxing fans should be tuning in to the division? Was it a desperation move, or was it just flexing a muscle, trying to educate and prove to boxing fans that, you have to look at other divisions for quality fighters? Hold that thought. Give me your answer in a second, because we are going to take a short break. I'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-773-4604. If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching The Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. Don't forget, make sure you're with us on Saturday night. Here, wherever you're watching or listening, so that we can get your
I definitely have to think they were the top dog open the playing field, and which they have done so remarkably well, is doing is fighter talent to identify as fighting and how great these fighters their right and their night to show that showcase table, and now you'll find and HBO is going to
fights from the week boxing super series improved to 13-0 with 11 stoppage over former who I think was the best cruiserweight in the division, Marco Captain Huck, who drops to 40 wins, 5 losses, and a draw. The official time was 2 minutes and 18 seconds of the 10th round. And now Usyk gets the winner of Marius Briedis, who's a WBC cruiserweight champion, and Mike Perez, who's moving down to fight in the cruiserweight division from the heavyweight division. Mike Perez, a Cuban fighter, was a champion in the amateur ranks. Never really got to his potential as a heavyweight due to lack of discipline and everything else. That's one fight I can't wait to see. But Usyk, like Dax Khan said last week, very well, may be the best cruiserweight in the world. This tournament's certainly going to map that out for us. But the other fight finally was announced. Murat Gassiev, who's the IBF World Cruiserweight Champion, and Krzysztof Lazarek, the guy who David Haye got out of the division to avoid to fight, and a solid fighter in his own right with a 53-3-1 record, has been scheduled for October 21st, and it will take place in New Jersey. And a fight that I may want to go down to see live and hang out with Larry. That's something maybe you should consider coming up to watch with me, Sal.
I think you are right on, because I missed my class reunion this past weekend, which was held in actually Park Ridge, New Jersey, at the Park Ridge Marriott. I missed my reunion because I was stuck down here trying to take care of family and also my business and my building, which is underwater. Thank you very much.
Is it?
So I will definitely make that a date. Let's write that date down. What's the date?
I already wrote it down. October 21st.
I'm coming up.
There you go. Some other fights that took place over the weekend. David Benavidez beat Ronald, the Thrill Graville, to win the vacant WBC World Super Middleweight title. 20 years old, Benavidez made it go, or I should say Graville made it go to the scorecards. The way the fight went, 116-111 and 117-111, both in favor of David Benavidez. And the third judge had Ron Graville up on his scorecard, 116-111. But nonetheless, Benavidez wins a split decision in Vegas. It was a very tough fight. To tell you the truth, I thought Benavidez landed the harder shots, and I agree with the 117-111 score. I'm not so sure about the 116-111 for Graville. Did you get a chance to watch this fight, Sal?
No, unfortunately, Bill, I had to be very careful on what I was paying attention to over this weekend. But, no, I missed that fight, unfortunately. But, like I said, I want to get up to speed and watch that fight during this week. And
we had one other fight I wanted to mention. Minnesota Ice. Joey, the Minnesota Ice Abel, improved to 34 wins, 9 losses, with 32 of his wins coming by way of knockout. And he scored a third-round knockout over Polish fighter Krzysztof Zimanok, who drops to 22 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, with 15 of his wins coming by knockout. The fight took place in Radom, Poland. A right hook took care of Zimanek. This was a huge upset for Joey Minnesota Ice Abel. This is a guy coming off of a couple of upsets. He was a fighter that was undefeated for the longest time, but never fought anybody. All of a sudden started fighting some tough fights, lost a bunch of fights, became that guy that was going to make some paydays. And in his last 2 fights has come out of nowhere to win against some up-and-coming, promising young heavyweights. So Minnesota Ice is melting the competition, Sal. You get that? Yeah, Minnesota Ice melting.
I got it. You know what? I like that. Minnesota Ice is melting the competition. I like that.
That almost sounds like one of your jokes, you know?
Well, I was going to say, you're getting it. I would have probably said the very same, or maybe saying something like, well, Minnesota Ice looks like he's shaving. Like shaving ice shaving? Shaving the ice off the competition. No, that's good, though. I like that.
Or when he loses, they say, Minnesota looked like crushed ice when he got knocked out, rather than cubed ice.
I like
but I'll tell you what, very much. Minnesota Ice had fists of block ice on Saturday night in Poland. How about that one, Sal?
That or his career is in a freeze pattern.
There you go. Hey, I think we should be weathermen. That's what I think. I think we should.
Hey, you know, I'm being heavily influenced by what's going on around me. I don't know if you can hear it, Bill. I got whistling. I feel like I'm in a friggin' haunted mansion. I got trees outside bending over 180 degrees. I've got the Hampton River, which goes right to the river, right to the ocean mouth, flooding, coming up to my balcony. It's interesting. I feel like Forrest Gump on the Bubba Shrimp boat, trying to be on the bow with the whole damn thing coming to save Captain Dan.
Hey, listen, not to get off topic and talk about that, but you are in the middle of Hurricane Irma. It's moving slow right now. It kind of turned its path. It's kind of heading right for Tampa, from what I understand. The west coast of Florida, which normally doesn't. Especially Tampa, normally doesn't get hit. Will this turn, so to speak, help St. Simons, or is St. Simons still in trouble?
No, I'll tell you what. It has helped St. Simons, because this was where we saw it when it was first going to land on the bottom of Miami, or right in Florida. We had an idea that it was either going to come up the eye, or as they now term, the eye wall. It's amazing how, you know, they come up with one term, you say, you believe it, and then they come up with another term that further explains what the hell you're talking about. So, you know, instead of the eye of the hurricane, now they got to be considering the eye wall. So the eye wall, you know, coming up through Florida was either going to be on the east coast, the west coast, or up the middle like a zipper. And what we all were very concerned about was the radius, the size of the storm being roughly 400 miles wide, which extends and exceeds the whole width of Florida. So, as it turned out, where it may appear to be coming up the right, when it hit Miami, it definitely veered and deviated off the path to go to the left. So now it's going along the left middle, along the west coast of Florida into the Gulf. So that does alleviate a little bit of what we were going to first brace for. It has definitely turned it down a notch, and I think it. Lowered it to again. You don't fool around with Mother Nature.
Just gonna say that. Or was it the other one? Well, yeah, I had heard that it 30-mile-an-hour wind, which is still a lot safe. The governor.
And I just kept evacuate, but here.
Hopefully the damage controllable, but
you know who's doing a great job. I just want to doing a stellar job. So I just want to give a shout out to Scott Rice, WGI.
Just say V. Shabransky. It will be a 10-round. I'm sorry for a son of God. He is, and the truth of the matter is, I don't have a soft for him. I really don't.
You know, after he was talking so much crap and would you say Van Damme was Lionheart in one of the movies? So, which I think was right. And after his 2 back-to-back, and I thought he. So we'll see if he's going to be the new. You don't have to like the guy fights. He wins. He does it.
Well, you know, it's not his fault.
They did.
It's so sickening. Was the best. Obviously, he is not. Still want to go see him. MZ headlines ruined it for the boxing man.
Pose. I really don't care to even watch it, even though he is a talented fighter.
The NFL right now, because we got some. The 1969 Super Bowl that no one gave the Jets. Loyal fan. I've supported this team. It's a pathetic organization, and how even are in the want them to be a pop kids that are under 10 to have to sit and watch it. And I got news for you. They can't. Sad sack team. I'm sick for it, and Top could even keep a job. How does has started 3 and a joke, and I'm
organization that to build to business to succeed. And it needs to be built, what needs to be improved, what needs to be polished. You have the foundation, and you replace that foundation and start again. And I'm not talking about denial, new stance with. So